To get better results from the GPT model, there are a few best practices that you need to take into account when you create your prompts, what I call crafting effective prompts. There's a couple of slides coming, and then we'll get to the demos. Let's start with be clear and specific. When you're creating prompts, clearly articulate what you want, avoiding vague or ambiguous language. For example, instead of saying, tell me about dogs, specify the type of information or action you're looking for, like, what are the most common breeds of dogs? Then, write prompts in natural, conversational language that a human would use, but avoiding overly technical or formal language. Also, as if you were asking a knowledgeable friend for help, and include relevant context in your prompt, explaining the situation or background information if necessary. Also, if the conversation has a history, refer back to previous messages to maintain the context. This is critical. Context is king. For the context, you can use the system messages as I showed you in the playground. Additionally, encourage detailed responses by asking open ended questions. Those are questions that can't be answered with a simple yes or no. For example, instead of asking, is it raining? You can use, what's the weather like today? Oh, and consider breaking down complex questions into multiple smaller questions, which is easier for the AI model to provide accurate responses. For example, if I want to know about a city, you can ask separate questions about its history, attractions, and local cuisine instead of asking, tell me everything about the city. Then, steer clear of double negatives or confusing phrasing that could lead to misinterpretation. For instance, instead of saying, isn't it unlikely that this won't work? Which you might agree with me that it sounds a little bit confusing, simply ask, will this work? And identify and use keywords related to your topic, which helps the model understand the subject matter better. It helps provide more relevant responses. For example, if you're asking about AI ethics, include terms like machine learning, artificial intelligence, and similar. And test and iterate. Experiment with different prompts, analyze the output, and determine which ones yield the best results. AI models may respond different to slight variations in wording, so don't hesitate to iterate and refine your prompts based on the AI responses. And of course, maintain a polite and respectful tone in all your prompts. The AI model should be treated with the same courtesy as human. Basically, avoid offensive or inappropriate language. And gather feedback from real users to fine tune your prompts. They can provide valuable insights into the effectiveness of your questions. Remember, you're dealing with natural language, which is not as deterministic as code. If you want to see some resources that might help you, take a look at the AI Cookbook, which provides sample code and guides for accomplishing common tasks with the OpenAI API. You can look for it in GitHub or navigate to cookbook.openai.com, this page right here, where you can explore further. For example, let's select how to stream completions, which opens this page, which provides a sample that you can follow. And now let's move on to some of the samples regarding the best practices.